Hello everybody and welcome back to another episode of Warframe Crash Course. Today we will be talking about the star chart and all the parts in your ship that you need to know about. So before we get into any of these other parts of the ship, let's go to the map first so we can check it out. Oops, sorry, that's not the place you should be at. So these are all the planets that you can unlock and all that kind of stuff. So when you first start the game, you do one quest called Vor's Prize. Vor's Prize will take you from Earth to Venus to Mercury, but after you get done with that, you might be like, where do I go next? Well, your next goal is to get to Mars, and there are these things called junctions that kind of lock you out of going to the other planets. So here it says you need to complete all these other things, all that kind of stuff. So to do that, you need to go through all the planets and complete the other junctions. Always do the junctions anyway, because they'll give you some pretty good mods. Like you can see here, they gave you Stormbringer, they give you a freaking companion, which we'll talk about later, and other quest lines that you can do. Now, actually, I think that's about it. All you do when you go to these junctions is you go down there and you fight a Warframe of some kind, usually. They're not too hard, especially even if you are new. So let's get on to what's up here at the top. What we should talk about next is how each planet has their own different resources that you can get from there. So here, on Earth, if you hover down over here, where it says no extractors available or whatever, you don't have to worry about that really. They'll tell you what resources there are. Usually from the top to the bottom are usually from the most common to the most rare, which Denton and ampules are actually like super freaking easy to get, but usually neurodes are the main thing everybody tries to go for, because they're super rare. So let's see, let's try another planet and see what else is over there. So on Venus, you have alloy plates, polymer bundle circuits, and field-around samples. Now, every planet has usually their own kind of set of resources that you can get. All good stuff. Always pay attention to what these are in case you're looking for a specific resource to farm out. So now that that's kind of over, let's go to the top nodes up here. So, the first one you have is your quest tab. These are just your quests you do, and they keep track, and they tell you what to do, where to go, all that stuff. As you can see right here, I have the Silver Grove, which I'm probably never going to complete because it's just too hard. Or it's not hard, it's just dumb. We got the Jordas Precept. You guys would never have these super early in the game. These are really late game ones, but basically all you do is to just click on them, and the last if you want to set it as a... Oops, you probably don't want to hear that, do you? Alright, so after that was over, sorry about that, we have the Alerts tab. Now these are very important for pretty much anybody when you play the game. As you can see right now, these are like little timed events, I would say, that you can get special rewards from. Sometimes they're for kind of newer players, so you can get some resources and some credits, which usually later down the game they come like super easy for you. You can also get different helmets and stuff for your Warframes that you don't actually have to buy with Platinum. You can actually get these from Alerts and build them, as you can see here with the Hydron, or not Hydron, sorry, Hydroid one. Another thing that you can also look for is the Ayatan treasure hunt. I'm not sure which way to say that. Basically, they're just statues, and we'll show more of that a little later. But basically, these are all timed. They're usually about an hour long. You can get some special rewards out of these things if they pop up if you're online at the right time. There are parts for the Valbin Warframe. You can get only weapons that are exclusive to Alerts. They're not very good though, but you know, it doesn't matter. They're there. Just kind of remember that. Next we have the Invasion tab. Now these are actually kind of a neat thing I think DE kind of forgot about. So invasions are basically special missions that you can help support a side of a war to receive a certain battle pay. Now, you have to do a mission 3 times for one of the sides to get that part. So, as you can see here, we can get, if we helped out the Grenier, all we have to do is do a sabotage mission against the Corpus. And you just click on one of these two, whichever you want to support, and it'll give you the part when you do it 3 times. But they won't give you the reward right away after you do the 3 missions. You have to wait till the invasion is over. I'm not really sure if you have to win the invasion to actually get the part. You might have to look that up. Sorry, I don't know. But there are a bunch of them. Another thing to point out is that the Ford manifestation, he's a boss that you can fight to get the Nyx Warframe parts. It doesn't really matter that much, but these are very helpful if you want to get some special weapons out of them. You can also get some very, I wouldn't say rare resources, but they're very time-consuming to make. I think they're about 12 hours or 24 hours to make just one of these things. It's a lot easier if you can just knock out 3 missions and then get the battle pay offer for 3 field run. Which these are different from the samples. These things are way more rare. They help build Corpus weapons from the dojo. So the next one we have is the Syndicates tab. Sorry about that. So as you can see, we'll talk about syndicates maybe a little bit later. But these will give you standing, which is just pretty much reputation for each syndicate that you help out. We'll talk a little bit more about that later because there's a whole other tab. Sanctuary Onslaught is more of an end game type of thing, or if you want to do like endurance run and test on how good you think you are or something like that. I don't find it very fun, but you can also get Korra's blueprints out of it. And Korra's not really that great of a Warframe if you ask me, but then again, I've never actually got her because I don't want to do the grind. So the next tab we have is the Void Fissure tab. Now, I also talked about this in the last video about how you can get prime parts from cracking open Void Relics. So you do these missions based on what kind of relic you want to crack open. As you can see here, we have Lith, Meso, Neo, and Axie fissures. You pretty much just jump into the mission, you collect reactant, which I'll do a whole nother video about it, but I'm just saying these are here in case you do want to crack them open, if you do know what you're doing. The next one, you might not ever be able to do these things if you were a new player, but you'll eventually come across these things. These are basically, they're called sorties, and they're just really tough missions you need to complete. If you complete all 3 of them, you can get a special reward, which the rewards sometimes aren't really that great because they either give you freaking sculptures or Kuva, which Kuva is actually a pretty good reward if you ask me. They're kind of a pain in the butt to grind out. Sometimes you get 3-day boosters, which I really wish I got instead of Endo, but oh well. But yeah, that's pretty much the star chart. If I missed anything, put it down in the comments. Let's talk about the ship places now. So first of all, I want to talk about the syndicates. There'll be a whole other video about how in-depth they go, but right now I am pledged to Steel Meridian and the Red Veil. Now, these 2 are partnered, and you can see that my other ones right here, I am all, what do you call it, like, I'm an enemy to the rest of them. Because I am aligned or allied with Steel Meridian, that means I am also allied with Red Veil, which I get some XP for them too. I can actually level them up soon. But these are kind of like their own grind all on themselves. From these, you can get special Warframe augments, as you can see here for... Oh, you can also get them for weapons, too. I forgot to mention that. So you can get some stuff for Nova, Excalibur, Rhino, all that kind of stuff. You can also get different Arcwing parts. Don't worry about Arcwing. Arcwing's kind of like a waste of time. They're not really that important, but you can also get a special Sindana from each one. They all look different and unique. They each have their own weapons. Right here we have the Vacor, Heck, Merlock, and Sidon. I think the only 2 worth getting out of these 3 is probably the Heck and the Merlock, which I have had both, or I haven't had the Heck yet. But anyway, that doesn't really matter. Basically, you just rank these up and you get the rewards from them by spending your standing. Next thing I wanted to talk about is the freaking Conclave. The Conclave is such a dumb mode. It's basically the PvP in Warframe, but no one pays attention to it. It's not very fun at all. And I wouldn't waste your time with it unless you really want the Conclave skins. But this is not what the core of Warframe is about. Just do this as like a little side activity in case you get bored with doing some other stuff. It's just basically for fun. Alright, so over here we have the news tab, which is basically everything that's kind of outside of the game, or it has to do with the game in the first place. You can see here it says chat server maintenance, you know, that kind of stuff. You got hotfixes, you got patch notes, you got other news like... Actually, you can probably just read this for yourself, but you click on one of them, it'll open your Steam page if you are playing Warframe through Steam, and you can check out all the cool stuff that they bring up. Usually they tell you if there's a dev stream going on, all that kind of cool stuff. So let's go to the market next. The market is where you find pretty much almost everything you need in the game. These are usually the most current things that came out. We have the Limbo Prime Access Pack. You can get him in-game. You don't have to ever pay real money for him, but this is if you want to pay real money. You get him. These are all cosmetics, all that kind of stuff. Here we have Core, the Warframe, all that kind of stuff. So if you're looking for something specific, let's go to the Warframe tab. Just click on Warframes. You can see all the Warframes in the game. Or not all of them, but a big chunk majority of them. In my last video, I said that you could build Warframes by buying their blueprints in the market. So let's say we look at Trinity here. You can click on here where it says build, and you can see that you can buy her blueprint for 25,000 credits. But some of the other Warframes aren't accessed, the blueprints aren't accessed through the market, like Volt isn't. You need to get his blueprints and parts out of a Tenno Lab dojo. Same with Zephyr, Wukong, and I think Banshee. Some of them are obtainable through quests, like I think Gara's is attainable through a quest, and Chroma. So just be aware of that. If you want to build a Warframe, go ahead and go to the market, check out what you need, which is usually the same amount of thing, and purchase the blueprint. Same thing goes for weapons. All the weapons will be displayed here. Just a side note really quick, if they have these little tiny blue symbol underneath or right next to a weapon name, that's for Arcwing, and that's a whole different thing that no one really pays attention to, so you probably shouldn't buy or invest in these kind of weapons. But anyway, go ahead and look at all these weapons in here. A few of the starter weapons are weapons you can buy without actually having to build them. So let me go try to find one of them. I think one of them was the Lex. So if you're actually looking for a specific weapon, just go up here, type in whatever you're looking for, it'll pop up. So as you can see here, as a starter weapon, the Lex, this is just the regular one, not the Prime one. It's only 50,000 credits. You don't actually have to build it. You just get the weapon right away, which is pretty nice. Then if you have 2 of them, you can actually build them by having both of the Lexes here. Just make sure to level them up, which will increase your mastery rank, which we'll get into that in another video when we talk about modding the Warframes. There are other things in here if you just want to kind of go out and look for yourself. So next, we're going to go to the Codex. The Codex is well, technically just a codex or an encyclopedia that you can look at everything in the game you want to know about. So here's the quest tab. These will usually be blurred out if you don't have access to them yet. And if they're completed, they'll say completed, obviously. But if you click on the Universe tab, this will probably tell you everything you want to know about anything in Warframe. So in the last video, I said you could check out all the Warframes in the Warframe tab, which is really neat. You can check out all the weapons. You can also see different factions. If you click on them, you can actually see what mods drop from them, and I guess you can't see that right here. But you have to scan them with your codex scanners to see what kind of damage they are resistant to and what kind of damage they are susceptible to. So you can also see where they come from and all that kind of cool stuff. So yeah, if you're confused about something, go in here and just kind of look around. There are also little tiny things that can teach you how to do crafting and upgrades and all that kind of stuff. You can go ahead and look at those too if you want, but you can probably just go online and find a way faster, more efficient way of teaching you how to do kind of stuff. So next, we're going to come down into the bottom of the ship, and we're going to talk about the mods first. Now, this is not the modding video, but these will house all the mods you collect while you play the game of Warframe. But you're going to have a lot of duplicates. So on these mods, you can sell a bunch of these mods for credits. So let's say we select all of Vitality. We can sell all these extra duplicates for credits, which I would not really recommend for the newer players unless you're super desperate for money. I would rather dissolve it into Endo. Endo is what you use to upgrade mods. So let's go upgrade a random mod here. Let's get this one right here. This is a stance mod. So to upgrade a mod, see these, I can't really look at it, but the little tiny pips at the bottom of the mod, there's like 3 of them on this one called Fracturing Wind. We're going to go to Fusion after we selected the mod, and it'll be highlighted up here. It says unranked, so we're going to press plus, and it'll bring it to rank 1. So it'll cost 20 Endo and 966 credits to upgrade it to the next tab. And these will usually increase the power of the mod you have, but they'll increasingly cost more Endo. So always try to get a lot of Endo really early on in the game because it'll help you out so much later. Here in this mod tab, you can actually pick 4 different mods and transmute them for a chance at a rare mod. I would not recommend doing this either because a lot of times, let's just use Ammo Drum. Oh, I guess it actually worked for something once. I guess I never had that mod. Anyway, if you have something that you just want to get a lot rid of and you have a lot of credits to go with it, you can transmute them to get a rare mod. Not very needed, I would say, but oh well, it's there if you want to use it. The next part in here is the Ayatan or Ayatan treasures. Now these you will pick up along as you play with Warframe. You'll get these sculptures, or you do that mission in the alerts tab. Throughout the game, you'll also find these things on the floor, these stars. So basically all you do is you click on one of these things and you can look at the sculpture, and as you can see, they're not moving, and it costs 2,000 Endo, which is, you don't have to pay the Endo, this is how much it's worth. So basically, if you see the holes on the bottom of these sculptures, they'll say you can install an amber star, which will do that actually. And as you can see, each time you put a star in, the value of the Ayatan sculpture increases, and you can sell these to, it's not borrow, it's, can't think of her name all of a sudden, but you can sell them to her to get more Endo from it. And you can also place these sculptures around your ship like I did here with these sculptures. So, next is the Foundry. Now, you should pretty much already know what the Foundry does. It pretty much makes you craft everything that you need to get if you have the blueprint for it. So, that's actually basically it. That's all you really need to know. Just make sure you have all the resources you need, the credits, make sure you know how long it'll take to craft it so you can plan accordingly your schedule if you want to come back, how many blueprints you have. So basically that's all you really need to know about the Foundry. So next we have the Incubator. So this is kind of like a weird topic, but the pets in Warframe right now are kind of useless, especially the animal ones. Now, I don't have a cat, or as they're called, kavats, but I have a dog. Now, right now he's in stasis, which I don't know why he's in an egg, but basically, if you do the Howl of the Kubro quest, you can usually just get it knocked out, and you'll be breeding a dog. Now, the dogs don't really do much. You can add mods to them and all that kind of stuff. I'm going to try to remove them from stasis, but it was going to take a long time to do it, I know for a fact. So basically, it's just going to sit here. Wait, I thought it takes a long time, actually. Oh, no, he's fine. But anyway, when you have a dog, you're going to want to apply DNA stabilizers to make sure its health goes up, because I think the longer the dog is out or you don't interact with it, all this kind of stuff will kind of degrade over time. But the dogs really aren't that important in the game, which is kind of sad because I love my doggo. I never use him, though. He just kind of sits around my ship. Just sad. The other part is the companion. So I talked about this earlier with the Taxon blueprint that popped up in that junction. Now, this is Helios, this is not Taxon, but you can't access the the companions here, you're gonna have to go to your arsenal, which you should already know about from the other video. You can equip the different companions you have. See, I can't use a dog yet because he's recovering from his stasis thing, so you can't use him right away, but he can still walk around my ship. So here I have 3 different companions that I have. I have Carrier, the Prisma Shade, and Helios. These are pretty much just support things. They're not pets exactly. Basically, you upgrade them and they help your Warframe out and all that kind of stuff. I actually haven't really upgraded Helios at all, so he's just kind of useless at the moment. That's basically all you really need to know about the companions, unless I want to dive more into that later. So the next segment in your ship you might want to know about is the Void Relic one. So the Void Relic, I don't know what you call this, table or something, it's kind of shoved over here in the corner. These will show all the relics that you have collected throughout playing Warframe, and if you click on them, you can see what they'll give you and what the chances are. Usually, if it's gold at the bottom, it's usually the hardest thing, the rarest thing to drop from it. And as you go up, it'll increase in your percentage for it to drop from these relics, and you have to do these relic missions. Just make sure that you also realize that there are Lith, Meso, Neo, and Axii missions to do for each relic you need to open. So if you want to open a Lith relic, you're going to have to do a Lith Void Fissure mission. Same with Meso. If you have a Meso, you're going to have to do a Meso mission to open it. We'll dive more into this a little later, but at least you know it's here. So next is the way back of your ship. I'm not going to be going into these 2 other rooms over here because there's kind of spoilers for other quests. And yeah, so here we have the infested room. I have a cyst on my neck, which is how you go about removing the cysts from your necks on your Warframe. But the cyst is not fully grown, so this room won't open. So I'm gonna go grab Nidus. Okay, so the room reacts to Nidus opening because I think he's an infested Warframe, or he is. But usually the cysts on the necks of all the Warframes, you can remove them by going and sitting in this chair when it's finally here. There's really no story spoilers in here, but it's just a weird, neat room. So I think that is it for this video. Hopefully now you know more about your ship and everything that it can do. Stick around for some more Warframe Crash Course videos, and I'll see you next time.